go. Hi. Yes. I would love that. Thank you. That's very nice. Oh, the coffee just magically appeared onto the screen. It's nice to shelter in place with people you love, right? This is great. So, I'm so glad to see you all here on this earlier time on a Monday. It's just really fun. What I was just playing was the Lee Etude Opus 57 number 1. And it goes, it sounds like this. There you go. So it actually goes down la da dicka 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is how it is notated. So right here is the as you can see there's an eighth note tied. So the rhythm goes dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum. And it looks very daunting. Doesn't that look very difficult? Yeah, but what it does is it kind of says, well, you're gonna act kind of like a guitar, and the bow causes the string crossing causes the rhythm to happen. Okay, so I'm holding my fingers in like this, and you can do the same thing with just let's do an open C, open G, E, and C. And we want to have it dum pa 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 bum pa 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 bum. Go ahead and try that. Just all of you. And you can choose any notes you want. That's a very standard violin and cello technique. Yeah, and you get to kind of like play something a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit, it sounds very, very different and crazy. Sometimes when I get into something, it's really quite easy to play the chord. So C on the bottom, G, and then it's E and a C. And then you can go to the top, and you can add a D, or you can go down to a B. Like for instance, you know, as I'm adding chords, you can have, right? And then I just slide up, slide up. Right? And you can also bar anything you want, and then do a 1, 1, and then a 3 and a 4. Let's try this. I'm doing D, A, F sharp, D, over here like this. Try that out. So D, A, F sharp, and D. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I applaud all of you who are trying it. By all means, definitely try it out. Yeah, you get to just roll forward over the strings. This bendy bridge that we have on our instruments was designed so that we could play a one string at a time with our bows. If we had a flat bridge like on a guitar, and I'll come over and show you that. Here's my little electric guitar, and notice how the strings are really quite flat in there. And if we go in here and we play this, that's all of the strings together playing all at the same time. Ask your parents about Led Zeppelin. There was actually somebody who did this and played all the chords, if you can imagine, like this. Seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? But you're kind of stuck with playing all 6 notes all at the same time. And not all guitar chords have 6 notes that are required. And so Our equivalent of doing that with the cello is that we have to roll them across. So if you've ever seen a chord, they typically are played with all four notes on top of each other. And our technique of how they actually sound, let me show you a chord that does that. Here's one. So here is this first chord right here on this is the second suite by Bach. It's in D minor. And you'll notice how it has a low D and then an A and then an F and then an A right there. And if you remember, it's got a little pickup, and I'll play that together. So over here is this, you'd think on a guitar you could just like play those notes and then just go brrr, but on a cello we do roll them. And what I'm doing is I'm holding down one finger with two strings, and then I've got a second finger over here, and then I have to pull the fingers up enough so that I can make sure that this A is going to ring open. So it's a D and an A and an F natural and an A. Now we typically, that notation sort of looks a lot more like this, where we're sort of rolling notes really quickly. Notice how these are 30-second notes. They have 3 beams on them. And so they theoretically go pretty fast. And we are not hearing a chord as one particular note. Here's the chord in question. Okay, we're not hearing that as we're hearing that as maybe 2 notes, and then we're rolling over and we're hearing 2 notes over here. But our ears hear the memory of those low notes, and we can roll them down too. Let's try rolling them down. There are times when you might want to have that as well. Yeah. Probably the easiest chord of all is to play an open, open, and then a 1 and a 2. This is a C major chord. And as you can see, that's basically just a variation on the 1, 1, 3, 4. And you can put that finger anywhere, that hand position anywhere you want. For instance, let's all play on an F. And then we'll play the C barring. And then we'll play the A barring, the C and the A. And then we'll play an F on top. It's kind of fun. And, yeah, go ahead and try it. I love it. Y'all are doing great. Anywhere you want to put that chord, you can put it to make a new chord progression. So, for instance, here, well, listen to this. What does that sound like? Does that sound like any kind of music? Remind you of anything? Do you imagine a matador at a bullfight? L'Atole! And that's because that kind of music is very easy to create on a guitar, because you're just taking the same shape and you're moving it, just like we're creating the same shape. So it has a very Spanish kind of influence to it. So we sometimes hear like, that kind of music. What about this? Anything? Maybe a little bit of metal has that kind of feel, like a 1 to a minor 3. How about this? This, I've gone already to a 4 chord. There's the 1 chord, here is the 4, which means I'm counting up 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to the 5th. Okay, so let's try that actually. I'm going to go back to D. So this is D, A, F sharp, and D. Okay, and I'm going to bar those. Remember all that talk about having the thumb apart from the fingerboard? When it comes to chords, that's totally not the rule. And you got to use that thumb and you got to clamp it down. And so your hands will get a little bit more tired. Yeah. Great. Then we're going to slide up with the same chord and we're going to go to G, D, B, and G. Try that. Love it. Okay, now let's go up to the A, and it's going to be A, E, C sharp, and A. Yeah, there it is. And the position, the fingers that I'm using do not change. They're just moving to different places. Okay, so let's do the D again. Ready? Everybody, D, A, F sharp, D. Excellent. Now let's go to G, D, B, and G. And just to be sure, if you're getting the right note, you're going to need this G right here, which is in 4th position. Okay? So your first finger is going to go all the way up to the corner of the neck. And it's going to play a G. Go ahead and try that out. Yeah, nice. It doesn't have to sound great. It takes a while to sort of get it to sound great. Then we're going to go to the A. Yeah, now we're talking. Uh-huh. If people really get up high, it takes away some of the sound. It really sounds better back here. But also, what'll happen is that we will sometimes have like a 1, 1, 2, 3 to get the chord, or we'll have a thumb, thumb, 1, 2, like. So that's super advanced stuff, but it's not so advanced that you won't be doing it within a year or so. Some of you will be working towards that kind of thing where you have the option of having a barred chord up here. Thumb, thumb, 1, 2. Any note you want. Actually, I take that back. Not any note. Do it on the harmonic. So just rest your thumb. Play those 2 notes. It's C and G. Then we're going to go for an E first finger and a C. That way you can really have a note to sort of shoot for to make that work. Uh-huh. Yep, no, that's good. Somebody's up a half step. That's totally fine. And I'm using thumb, thumb, 1 and 2 to get that chord. Yeah, this is great. First finger will have this note. And C will have this note. Good. And then when you get into a whole series of say if you get into a whole bunch of music that really accents has the chords, has the arpeggios going, like for instance. Yeah. No, different one. I'm just making up something right now. But there is music that does this, and you can't. All you do is you just switch the bowing. As you can see, it was a little bit weird to do this, so why not do this? And so watch my backwards bow. I'm going to do an up bow going up and a down bow going down. And that's a little easier. So let everybody try that just on the C, G, E, and C, G, E, and C. And I'm going up and down. Yeah. So normally we would think of a down bow. We go down, up. But we also want to build up the skill to be able to go up, then down. Go ahead and try. Oh yeah, there we go. I see some people doing all the good stuff. Yeah, good. Oh, you know what? When I tuned this morning, I noticed that I was a little bit low. So, and I tuned myself already, and I wonder if we might all tune. I am going to first off manage the screens participants. There we go, and I'll mute you all, and so you can hear my sound. Oh, most of you are muted already. Good, and there we go. And now I'm going to play an A and tune yourself. And now D. And G. And C. All right. Okay. Super. So now what I'd like to do is have everybody do the a new scale. It's a new week, so it's time for a new scale. And to get there, I need to pull it up, pull up the page. Where is my good one? Go over here. Yes. There we are. All right. So we'll do the 2-octave scale. And what I would like to do is, oh, G minor? No. Oh, not E flat. Ooh, that's too hard. Let's do all the standard ones. We've done A minor, F. We have not done. Have we done F major, everyone? Do you remember?
No.
No? Okay, and we did D minor this last time. Oh, we did B flat major this last time. I would like to do F major. Okay, so here we go. This is just 1 flat, and we're going to do 2 octaves, so it should be fairly easy to get in. I'm going to bring up a screen for you all. Here it is. And oh, where's my there's my zoom. Here's the scale. And boom. Okay, now do you all see a really cool F major scale? F dur, dur is major, Moll is minor in German, or in French, fa is F, fa majeur. And you know what's funny is that in the Romance language countries like France and Spain and Italy and Romania and Brazil and Mexico, they understand the notes as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. And we have that song, you know, from The Sound of Music, do, a deer, a female deer, right? Well, here's the kicker on this, is that I'm going to pin this video. There we go. And I'm going to bring you all up. Good. So um, they understand that as just actual notes. Now the German method and the American method is where we move the do around so that the do is always the root. So for instance, in France, they would sing this. They would sing this. Fa, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa. Now, for how many of you does that sound normal? Does that sound strange, or does that sound a little bit weird? I'm going to say that. Yeah, it sounds strange, right?
Yeah.
Fa, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, re. I can't sing that high. Okay? So they understand it that way. We in the United States, to a large extent, most colleges have sort of a movable do concept. We go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Now we sing that ti and then do right over here. Okay? So that's kind of a weird way to think, you know, like a different way to think about it. And everybody fights over which one you should do. In fact, there's even a meme where the Orange County Choppers guys are fighting over which should be movable dough and which should. It's the one where they throw chairs and then one guy walks out. If you've ever seen that meme, there's a guy with sort of white hair and he's got a beard that goes down over his face and everything like that. Anyway, they're fighting over in this joke. They're fighting over like whether it should be fa, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa, like they do in France, if you study in France or in Italy or in Spain, or if they go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And they both have their benefits. I actually kind of like to teach both concepts. But anyway, let's all play this. I'm going to start right over here, and this is the fourth finger F. Everybody keep your microphones on. I want to hear everybody so that we can correct any notes or anything like that. And we're going to start right here at this F. Everybody play? Yeah, I like it. It's great. Let's go to... And this is the open G. Then we'll go to A, first finger. Now B flat. E, fourth finger. Open D. E natural. First finger. F, second finger. Yeah. Let's make sure that everybody's on a second finger. I only have 1 and 2 down. La. Excellent. That sounds great. Fourth finger G. Open A. B flat low. And E flat low high. Ooh, I need a first finger and it needs to be super low. Now let's go to C, second finger. Second finger, C. Then D. Oh, sorry. First finger D. Third finger F. Now we're in third division of an F. And now fourth finger F. Good. Now let's go back down. Third finger. First finger D. Second finger F. Second finger C. Can't even read notes. Stretch down. B flat 1. A. F. Good. Okay. Feel free to take a screenshot of that for just a moment. And I'm going to unpin this screen for just a second. Unpin video. There we go. And excellent. Oh, that's pretty nice. Are we still in screen sharing?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm learning so much about this new software. This is great. So I can see you all and screen share. All right. So the next thing is I'm going to unscreen share and let's go through the notes. Just I'm going to talk you through all the notes. Make sure they all work. So here is the unscreen. All right. So here is this F. This is what it looks like. Then we're going to go to an A. So here's that fourth. Everybody try it. Oh. Good. And now we go to open. Now we got a first finger A, B flat. Excellent. C. And D. All right, so that's the first octave. Let's go back down. So F, C. Go ahead and try that out. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and try it. Yeah, I want to hear everybody. It's great. So fourth finger F, and then a G, A, open D, excellent, and good. Open D. This is great. Now let's do this. Now let's do the second octave. I see somebody took off real fast. All right, Dennis Poon's child. Excellent, good job. So hey, here is the second octave, which is F. C, second finger, A1, E, and F. Good. Okay. Now with this same key, I'm going to play something for you that is from by Bach, and it's in the relative minor of D minor, and this is that same Allemande from the second suite. Let me just mute all of you, and you can listen in. And I'll play just straight through, no repeats on this Allemande. It's the one with the crazy fun chord. Here we go. Going on. you could play this, even within a few years. I have plenty of middle school students and high school students playing that exact piece, the Allemande from the Second Suite. And so if you have a real yen for it, let me know. It's a really cool piece. It seems to go really fast, but you guys can all learn it. And this was by J.S. Bach. You can look him up. And he wrote 6 suites, each of them having 6 movements. And this is the second movement in the second suite. So enjoy yourselves. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow at 9. Tell all your friends we changed the time. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.